Sweat dripped down Greg's forehead as he stood next to his car. He watched as the police officers searched it from top to bottom, hoping they wouldn't find what he was smuggling into the state. His stomach dropped when they found a secret lever that would reveal his contraband as soon as they pulled it down. Much to Greg's misfortune, the police officers figured it out rather quickly, and the secret compartment swung open. Everyone around was silenced by the sight before them. The officers had never seen this kind of contraband before. Sir? Could you explain what this is? He had to think, really think about a way out of this mess. Oh, huh? What is that? This is the first time I'm seeing this too, he sheepishly said. But as soon as the officers realized he was playing dumb, they arrested him. Greg was cuffed and put inside a police car. But what was Greg smuggling into the state? Why doesn't he want to tell what it is? And will the police eventually find out? Before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. The borders are heavily patrolled, and every car could be picked out to be searched. For regular civilians, that wouldn't be a problem, but for Greg, that would mean a whole lot of trouble. He was tasked with smuggling a special kind of contraband into the state by his boss, without any experience. You see, Greg wasn't usually the smuggler type of guy. Normally, Greg would do small jobs like dropping off suspicious packages 2-hour drives away from his home, but his boss felt like he was ready for a more serious task. After a few hours, he began to see border patrol in the distance. Greg's only thoughts were, act normal, as sweat dripped down his forehead. Sadly, as soon as he approached the border patrol, he was ordered to pull over. The police officers ordered Greg to step out, and he could see their eyes lingering on his sweaty forehead. The officers exchanged glances, causing Greg to get even more nervous. He realized he wasn't doing a very good job of acting normal. Finally, the inevitable happened. They found the lever. The police officers pulled it down, and suddenly everything went silent. The compartment swung open, revealing the contraband Greg had tried to smuggle into the state. The police officers were too stunned to speak. Finally, one of the officers turned his attention back to Greg. He asked him if he could explain what was going on, which Greg had to think about. He thought about telling the truth, but that would mean he could possibly be sent to jail. So, he decided to play dumb. Damn, I have no idea what that is, sir, he said sheepishly. Of course, the officers weren't born yesterday, so they realized Greg was keeping them in the dark. You have to come into interrogation then, one officer said sternly. They put Greg in the back of a police car and began to unload the contraband. Slowly, realization began to set in. The door to the interrogation room creaked open, ushering Greg into a realm of stark white walls and a single table. Detective Marshall, a figure of authority and experience, sat waiting, his eyes fixed on Greg. Detective Marshall leaned forward, his gaze never leaving Greg's. You know, we don't often see contraband like this, he said, his voice measured and calm. His statement was deliberate, a subtle probe into the mystery Greg carried. Greg felt Marshall's eyes reading him, searching for any flicker of recognition or guilt. The detective's scrutiny was relentless, a silent judgment that bore down on Greg with an intensity that threatened to unravel him. Each glance he cast towards Greg was piercing, slicing through the air like a knife. Greg felt each silent moment stretching, growing heavy with unspoken accusations. Gradually, Marshall's questions became more pointed, each one a sharpened hook aimed at Greg's defenses. Greg's thoughts swirled in turmoil, the pressure within him building like a storm. To reveal the truth or maintain his loyalty to his boss? The choice loomed over him like a dark cloud. News of Greg's arrest had already started to make waves in the criminal underworld. Word spread like wildfire, reaching the ears of those who once stood by him, now seeing him as a potential liability. Greg's boss, ever cautious, began taking steps to distance himself from the situation, fully aware of the potential fallout. In the dark corners of the city, whispers of Greg's predicament stirred unease and speculation. As news of Greg's arrest trickled out, it quickly snowballed into a media frenzy. Reporters, drawn by the allure of the mysterious contraband, began spinning a web of intrigue and speculation. In a decisive moment, Detective Marshall laid out a final offer to Greg. Full immunity in exchange for his complete cooperation. The offer hung in the air, a lifeline amidst the treacherous waters Greg found himself in. It was a stark choice, fraught with risks, but promising a way out. Greg cornered and desperate. realized the gravity of the decision before him, understanding that this could be his only chance at redemption. Feeling the walls closing in, Greg made a pivotal decision. He revealed that the contraband was, in fact, rare, discontinued currency, prized for its historical worth. His voice wavered as he spoke, revealing the hidden truth he had guarded so closely. This currency, a relic of a bygone era, held more than monetary value. It was a piece of history, shrouded in mystery, and now at the center of a criminal case. Greg delved deeper into the details, explaining the potential national security implications of the currency. His revelations painted a picture of a situation far more complex than a simple smuggling case, hinting at layers of intrigue and danger that extended far beyond the borders of the state. With Greg's reluctant cooperation, the police began to unravel the true nature of the contraband. His disclosure provided them with crucial leads, opening doors that were previously locked. This newfound cooperation marked a significant shift in the investigation, turning it in a direction that promised to uncover deeper, more systemic criminal activities tied to the rare currency. For Greg, this moment of truth was a bitter acknowledgement of the role he had unwittingly played in a much larger scheme. With the critical information provided by Greg, the police swiftly moved to orchestrate a sting operation. The plan was intricate and far-reaching, designed to dismantle the criminal network from its roots. As the sting operation commenced, key figures in the criminal syndicate were methodically apprehended. The police moved with precision, their actions informed by Greg's insider knowledge. The operation's success led to a significant breakthrough in uncovering the syndicate's extensive network. With each arrest and seized document, the intentions behind the contraband movement became clearer. Greg's boss, along with other high-ranking members, were apprehended, and their reign of illegal activities was brought to an abrupt halt. Following the operation's triumph, Detective Marshall met with Greg, acknowledging his vital contribution. "Your information was the linchpin," Marshall admitted, a rare note of respect in his voice. Alone in his cell, Greg pondered his journey from reluctant participant to crucial informant. His decision to cooperate had reverberated beyond his personal predicament, impacting national security. Though his cooperation had earned him a degree of leniency, he knew he couldn't escape all the consequences. Yet there was a glimmer of hope for a new beginning. The end of this chapter marked the start of another, a chance for Greg to rebuild his life, informed by the lessons of his past. Greg's decision to cooperate had far-reaching effects. His insights not only led to arrests but also prevented the rare currency from entering the black market. As the story drew to a close, Greg sat contemplatively, envisioning his life after release. The road ahead was uncertain, but the experiences he had endured had reshaped him. He was no longer the same man who had unwittingly become entangled in a criminal web. There was a future to be rebuilt, a chance to forge a new path defined by his newfound perspective and the hard-earned wisdom of his past mistakes.